Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Billy with Backroads and Byways, and today's date is February 25th of 2020. So here's the deal. Catfishing is my big thing. I love catfishing, and I love other types of fishing too, but catfishing has always been my number one thing. I love it. I've come up with a few different homemade baits and things like that and chum over the past years, but there's something that this winter that I've been working on, looking at, and some different basic simple recipes for chum and for catfish bait. And so there's something new that I wanted to experiment with. Problem is, it's nowhere near warm enough weather or the time to start catfishing, really. It's still February. It's still really cold. In fact, it's kind of raining outside. We're supposed to have a chance of snow with up to an inch accumulation possibly tonight. So, cabin fever, fishing fever set in. I'm ready to start kind of throwing some stuff together and to launch a new segment that we're going to start doing this spring once we're able to start, doing some fishing. And it's going to be titled. Natalie, you want to tell them what the title is?
Oh, hang on. I'm trying to cook.
She is. She's trying to cook supper.
Okay, so it's going to be titled, Hey, Will That Catch Catfish?
Yeah. So, hey, will that catch catfish? That's going to be a segment because we're going to be trying some different kinds of combination of baits and stuff that maybe you guys recommend. We would love to hear get your input. So if you've got some ideas on different kinds of homemade baits and things like that to use, maybe something you've created yourself, kind of share the wealth, share the information with us. We'd love to give it a try and see which concepts work the best, and along with some of the things that we're going to try. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take I've got some oatmeal, okay? Now these are bags that oatmeal that's already pre-made up, pre-measured, that kind of stuff that Natalie had made up for our breakfast, which is our version of frou-frou oatmeal. So it's got oats and it's got allspice in it and it has some brown sugar in it. Now I'm going to add some regular sugar to this also, but I'm also going to add some warm water. And I'm also going to add some yeast, okay? Because I want to ferment my bait, all right? I want it to ferment. I want it to get kind of gnarly smelling. And I mean gnarly.
Raunchy.
There you go, kind of in a raunchy sort of way. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to start mixing this stuff up. We're going to put it in this container. I'm not going to make a big batch of it. This is primarily an experiment.
I have something else too, though.
Okay, she's got something else.
I think I'm totally out of the frame here. It's all right. Hey, let's try some awkward off-the-wall things this year, too.
Ooh, I'm down with that.
So be like, grapes. Hey, grapes. Will that catch a catfish? Or like, Twinkies. Will that catch a catfish?
I've never tried either one of those.
So just crazy off-the-wall things.
So if you guys want to see, Takis.
Will that catch a catfish?
So there you go. So you guys, we want to start getting some input from y'all. If you're curious to know if it'll catch catfish, you come up with the idea, you pitch us the question in that form, and we will try it and we will video it. So, all right, so let's get started. We have this container here because we're not going to use, we're not going to make a big batch of this yet because this is just an experiment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this. There we go, look at that. That's a little better. Hey. So now we put in 3 of those Ziploc bags of dried oats, regular plain oats, not flavored or anything. It does have some brown sugar and some allspice in there. I'm now going to go ahead and add some regular granulated sugar to that. And then I'll be adding my Fleischmann's active dry yeast to that as well. The other method that I had. So I'm not exactly sure how much. I'm not measuring anything per se right now. We're just kind of experimenting. Alright, I'm putting about a teaspoon of yeast in here. So, we'll see how this works out. I've already put in the sugar that I, showed you a while ago. And then what we'll do is I'll add the warm water because I want to kind of jumpstart. I kind of want to jumpstart the yeast with the sugar. And so putting a little bit more warm liquid in there, warm water, will kind of help it to begin the process of the yeast eating on the sugar, and I want to get that kind of shook up a little bit so that the oats soak up the liquid and everything. And then what we'll do is we'll jump back into this video in the morning and to see how well this is working. I'm going to cover the top of this with a balloon overnight, and we'll check on it in the morning. Hi guys, welcome back to the Backroads and Byways channel. And in previous footage you've seen where I had put together some ingredients to make a catfish bait, and that's been fermenting instead of just overnight. I've actually allowed it to ferment now for 8 days. I put balloons on the tops of the containers because it ended up expanding more than what I had anticipated, so I actually put it into 3 different containers. So anyway, we've got some of the ingredients in here. I'm going to end up adding some vanilla, and this is imitation vanilla flavoring. You can use it, or you can use vanilla extract if you want to. I've not ever done that before, so I thought that I would go ahead and give it a try through some other sources that have used that I trust. So we're gonna add that to our ingredients this time around and see how it goes. So we're going to be adding some flour. You can use self-rising flour, you can use all-purpose flour. It doesn't really matter, because what I want to do is I want to make this into like a dough consistency, so that we can take this, it'll sit on a treble hook really good, maybe even as a circle hook. I really like using circle hooks when I'm using live bait, chicken livers, or when I'm using hot dogs, because hot dogs seems to be the biggest hit when it comes to us setting out our lines for catfish. My wife and I, we've had better success on using hot dogs, just plain old regular cheap hot dogs, when we're catfishing, no matter the time of the year, whether it's spring, summer, or fall. So, but anyway, let's get into this recipe. All right, so I've already got into the bowl. I've already got some of that stuff there. We'll cut back in after we've added the rest of these containers here, and then we'll start to put in the vanilla and the flour. All right, guys, we're back. I've emptied all of the containers of the fermenting concoction into it, and I can tell you this, man, this stuff stinks. And I have dealt with some stinky stuff before, but man, this stuff is is nasty. Now, bear in mind, now I want you to understand, I have been sick for the last, well, this is day 3 that I have been sick, and I hate it. I hate being sick. There's so many people in and around our area that's sick. No, I do not have the coronavirus, okay? This is just a type of flu that I've got. I'm actually feeling much better than I have been the past 2 days. I still have a sore throat, sneezing, I've got coughing and some achiness, but it is definitely tapering off. I'm still not feeling well enough. This is Wednesday, March the 4th, 2019. I'm definitely not going to go to church tonight because I do not want to go and run the risk of spreading it to other people. But anyway, let's get into this. I missed out on getting to do any filming this past week because of our schedules being so busy, and then this week so far because of being sick, can't go anywhere. But we're going to make some catfish bait, and so let's get after that. So I've got everything mixed into the bowl here, but I want to make this like a dough consistency so that it will stay on the hook better and not dilute so quickly, and also, if possible, to put it on like a circle hook or something like that if we're able to do that. Typically we like using hot dogs a lot, or live bait, shad, shad, or even perch, bluegill, things like that. We'll use cut bait, but we typically have had better success on just regular old cheap hot dogs. And so yeah, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start adding some of this flour. We're just adding the flour, stirring it in until we get the consistency that we're looking for, okay? So it's not a particular amount. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh man, what's the measurements? It's basically at the consistency and to the amount of the ingredients that you want to use, that your heart desires for your bait to look like, and for the consistency of it, and for how potent you want it to be. So If Stink could smell this, Stink would say this stinks. So it really doesn't bother me much. There we go. We're starting to gain some ground now on the consistency that we're looking for. Some of you may be like, why don't you just put your hands in there and mix that up? I'd really rather not right now, if I don't have to. There we go. Alright guys, we are at the consistency that I want. And so yes, I did end up getting one of my hands in there, and I do have a couple of sanitary wipes over here so I can clean my hands and the spoon off, and then those will be washed very well with hot soap and water in the sink. But anyway, we've reached the consistency that I want. It's like a dough-like consistency. So let you guys kind of see that a little bit here. Hope that you can see that all right. It is just, yeah. So now I know some of you are looking and you're like, okay, so how are you going to distribute that out? You know, you're going to put it into tubs, or, you know, what are you going to... We're not done. We're only in the next stage of my catfish bait process. And so now I'm going to let this set and continue to ferment, because it's still fermenting, it's still working. And I'm going to let that kind of taper off, and then I'm going to add some other stuff into it. I don't like for my dough baits to be too busy, filled with too many ingredients. You know, just keep it simple. So, but we do have a couple other primary ingredients that do need to be added. But I wanted to get it to this consistency, so that way when I add these ingredients, these other ingredients, which one of them is more liquid than anything, but it is essential. I won't have to add that much flour, because I'm already at the consistency that I want to be, and just have to add a little bit to compensate for the liquid in the next stage. So guys, until then, we'll pick back up again with this video in the next catfish bait making segment. So until then, if you guys would please smash that like button, and if you haven't already, please show some love, subscribe to our channel. We don't only have catfish bait making segments, and we do things. We do fishing and outdoors activities. We do date day activities, sharing tips and things to save you money for going on a date day. And also when you're visiting our area, which happens to be the Branson area, if you're visiting here on vacation, we share different things to help you save money while you're in the area, and to have a more fun and enjoyable time while you're here, and not have to worry about your pocketbook so much. We also do segments on featuring the small towns of Table Rock Lake, that maybe you typically don't hear about. So we share, every other week we share a town around the Table Rock Lake area. It doesn't have to be right along the lake, but to feature that particular town, what is there, and some of the little hidden gems that are found in those towns, and makes the visit to those towns worthwhile. So also, we still have the 2020 Burger Bowl competition that's going on, and I do have to declare, since this is the first video for going into the month of March, that the Hungry Hunter restaurant just outside of Branson, Missouri, off of Highway 165, just down the road from Table Rock State Park, has clinched the spot for the month of February 2020. So we're going into March. We'll see who gets to go head-to-head for the month of March, and which one will emerge as the one who clinches the spot for the month of March as we go into our April videos. So till then, y'all take care, stay safe, God bless. We'll see y'all on the next Back Roads and Byways.